All right, let's see if we can get this video in before morning math. Negative exponents and multi-step equations. That's what we're going to look at. You ready? I'm ready. Turn off my camera there and let's go. So I'm going to click all of these. And you know what? Just so you know, if you feel like you're getting ahead of the game, don't start doing work from other class. Just look at the next week. It's all there for you. So just go to the next week and give it a try. Because the more you can set yourself up, the better you'll be. But right now we're going to talk about our second week of exponents, and then we're going to get into equations. So let's look at these negative exponents. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you made the exponent negative? Let's find out right now. The definition of a negative exponent. So if we had x to the negative second power, that would be 1 over x to the positive second power. That's all it is. An exponent that's negative, you can think of it as being negative in the numerator and it's positive in the denominator. And guess what? Vice versa is true as well. So we can see that x to the negative 6 would be x to the 1 over x to the positive 6. Make sense? And then the opposite is true. 1 over y to the 6 is the same as y to the negative 6. All right, moving on. Then we can just use our exponent rules. So we know that when we have terms multiplied together that we add the exponents, right? So what is negative 11 plus negative 15? Is that it's 25, 26, negative 26. So then we're going to write z to the negative 26. Fraction subtraction. So you just subtract the exponents. And I think that's all for now. So you could do that one. Okay. Powers of products and quotients. So now this is, just adding that power to a power rule, which we talked about last week, where you multiply the exponents. And just to show you, those bases, the a and the b in this are called bases, the thing that the power is of, the base. And they're not the same. So we cannot add that -7 and -2 because the a and the b are different letters. But we can multiply them both by the -9. So -7 times -9 is, what is that, 63. So we're going to have a to the 63rd. And then -2 times -9. What is that? Is that not 18? So b to the 18. Oh, that's A. It's sitting there right in front of me. And it says choose one answer. So there we go. Oh, wow. That's the exact same thing. We're not going to do it. So yeah, just remember the video is just to give you, get you started, right? Give you any vocabulary, any definitions like that negative exponent, but not to do everything for you, right? So now we're going to talk about our second topic, and that's equations, multi-step equations with distribution and all of it. There's a lot of ways to talk about it. We can put a balance up and talk about keeping the balance, and that's great. There's lots of great ways, I should say. The way that I'm going to teach you is what I found to be the most efficient way of solving an equation. And I've thought long and hard about it. Like when you get to high school, can you keep doing this? And I think the answer is yes. So here we go. Yes, it's true. We can think of the equation as a balance. But what I like to think of is if a term is positive on one side, you can, just like the exponents, you can write it on the other side as a negative. So how many terms do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the sign in front of the term is the sign of the term. So that negative 2t, you see, you might be saying in your head, Mr. Field, you mean minus 2t? No, I don't. I mean negative 2t. And the rest of the terms are positive. So what we want to do, we want to put the variable terms on this side. And we want to put the constant terms, the ones without a variable, on that side. And the rule that you should write down in your notes is over the line, change the sign. Okay? Whoa. Over the line, change the sign. There we go. So we want the variable terms on the left here. We could put the variable terms on the right, but why do that? We don't need to. So we're going to put the variable terms on the left in this one. So I'm going to have negative 2t is already on the left. And what are the other variable terms? We have t, that's got to go over. And then also 4t, that's got to go over. So then let me just give myself more space. So we got negative 2t is already there, but now we have a minus t and a minus 4t. Notice those terms went over the line and they changed their sign. Okay, so now let me move our constant term, 16. That's got to go over that way, and that's it. So that's going to be negative 16. Thought I'd change the color there for you. Bring down the 9. Okay, now we're going to combine our like terms. Okay, so negative 2, negative 1, that's negative 3, and negative 4. So let me just do that. Negative 2, negative 1, negative 4. What does that combine to? Negative 5, negative 7, right? So negative 7t. And then negative 16 and 9. Subtract those numbers. Get the bigger one sign. That's negative 7. All right, so we put our variables on the left, write that down. Numbers on the right, constants on the right, write that down. Then we combine like terms, write that down. And the last step, you should already know, we got to divide. We got to divide both sides by the coefficient of t. Boom. And t equals positive 1. The two negatives cancel out. So all that work for 1. But you know what? I had to do all that work for one student. I would, all that work for one is worth it. All right, so you can try that one. And then guess what? We're going to do the same thing with decimals and fractions. So I'm not going to do it right now because it's the same strategy I just said. It's just now you got to combine like terms. You got to combine decimals and fractions. So let's just write down what's so hard about decimals. Yeah. Well, when you adding and subtracting, you have to remember to line up the decimal, right? Biggest mistake people make. So in this one right here, well, we know we're going to put, if we put, let's put this over here, right? Variables on the left. So then you'd have 3.5, and then that would change to a positive 0.5. So you would end up adding them, and look at my decimal points are lined up. So you wouldn't want to put that another way, not that you would in this case, but someone might put like this. We had 0.7 plus 73. You might see your friend or neighbor write this, and that's a no-no, right? Because the decimal points aren't lined up. What you would want to put would be that is a yes, please. All right. So that's lining up the decimals, and then one more thing about fractions. Add and subtract after getting common denominators. All right, so common denominators, and that would be the LCM of the denominators. Right? So you had 1/3 plus 1/3. Well, you already have common denominators. That would be 2/3. Yeah, 2/3. But if you have 1/2 plus 1/3, then you have to find the least common multiple of 2 and 3, which we know would be 6. I count by 2s and count by 3s. Counting by 2s, of course, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, blah, blah, blah. Counting by 3s is 3, 6, 9, 12. And we see 6 is in both lists. It's the first number in both lists. How do we get 6? We multiply that one by 3, multiply that one by 2, and we get 3, 6 plus 2, 6, which is 5, 6. All right, so we never want to forget fractions or decimals. They will always be here. So make sure that you don't use, I should have said this at the beginning. If you have Mathway open or any other equation solver photo math, go ahead and close it, because I will find out, and I will find out when you get things wrong in class or can't explain your work. Do not let Google or any, let me just turn my camera off for this. All right, do not let Google or any equation solvers do your work for you, because if you let them, you will never be able to do the work yourself, or at least you will delay your ability to do the work. And what's the point in that? Okay, don't take any shortcuts. This is your learning, and you're going to get what you get. Then don't get upset. But I know you guys are going to do the right thing, and I'll see you in class. Bye.